Welcome to Growth Matters Business Insights and Tech Trends. My name is Justice. We talk about business, technology, and current affairs. So enjoy, sit back, and relax. It's you and me having a timely conversation. Here we go. Today's show is talking about cybersecurity awareness and how you can protect your information from identity theft. Our guest today is Halima Wanamaker, CEO of Vimtech, a women-owned business enterprise. And we are so glad to have her here during Women's History Month. Halima is a colleague who has also worked in the cybersecurity space. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Joe, for having me today.
Yeah. Could you please share with our listening audience a little bit about your background?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I just grew up with computers first at 12 years old. I mean, the tower that was probably about 4 feet high off the ground, right?
Yeah.
Fast forward there, I just loved it. Got my degree, my bachelor's at MIS, and worked with contracting with the government, contracting with Microsoft, all types of different businesses. And, at some point being, 18 plus years in this industry, I said, it's time to start my own business now and really do what I love to do, which is serving companies, especially small, medium-sized businesses. And we also do serve large enterprises, but being able to really help people safeguard their businesses so they can grow. And that's really what our heart of Vimtech is.
Oh, great. And this is a great topic because we're talking about the benefits of securing your computer network. And to begin this conversation, what cybercrime prevention strategies do you use to help protect, businesses from cyber attacks? Some of your clients.
I want to kind of back up, if you don't mind.
Oh, go right ahead. Yeah.
I could go into all the different software and all the different best practices, right? Mm-hmm. But I think you and I had a conversation too before, that a lot of small businesses, a lot of businesses, not even just small, really don't understand the importance of cybersecurity.
Yes.
It's always an afterthought. It's can I afford to, pay the rent to wherever I have my lease to wherever I have my company, the lights on, the electric on? Can I pay my employees? Can I get, business insurance? But securing my network, making sure we're safe, that's on the back burner of the budget, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Or some people say, I know a guy that I went to school with, or my neighbor, and he works on computers. That's all I need, right? Mm-hmm. And I hear this all the time. And especially with our company, Vimtech, unfortunately, majority of our clients come to us after a cyber attack. So I kind of want to start with the benefits of securing your network is understanding that it's important to secure your network. If you don't have that understanding that as us being a online society, understanding that all data, all information is online, and people don't necessarily just want to just come and attack you. You may be a gateway. Your company or who you know or your contacts or who you interact with, if they know they can get to you to get to others, that may just be the goal. Mm-hmm. There's so many different ways that people are limiting their thinking in regards to the benefits of cybersecurity and securing a network. So I kind of wanted to just start there because, again, I can throw everything out, but if someone doesn't understand that even as a solopreneur, that you can literally be taken down if someone just gets right into your business bank account. And I'm giving a real world example. There was a solopreneur that came to us because their bank account was hacked.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that was a solopreneur. And I've also had larger companies who had cyber attacks that took down their entire network of over 50 employees. So
yeah,
it's very important.
Yeah, because the total cost of cybercrime jumped to about $12.5 billion in 2023, and the FBI logged a record of 880,418 complaints, about 10% increase from the previous year. And the two culprits were basically investment scams and business email compromise, which was driving much of that surge. And so it's really important, as you said, backing up, making sure that you secure and lock down the system. Think about that ahead of time, because it's going to cost you your reputation, revenue, production, a lot of different things that factor into it. But what can you do once it's locked down and you're down? Can you afford to be down 2-3 days? How did you have your data?
Time is money, right?
That's
time
right.
Time is money.
Yeah.
So if you're not able to perform your work and you have employees that are sitting around, or you just sitting around and not able to actually do the things that people are paying you to do, again, time is money. You got lawyers, you're going to have to contact your insurance company. Hopefully you have insurance, cybersecurity insurance, right?
Yeah.
And even with that, you have to make sure things are in place in order for them to even provide the coverage. So I'll go into your first initial question, since we gave that background, right? Like, first you have to change your mindset and looking at cybersecurity and hiring a professional IT company to secure your business should be one of the top things that you have in your budget before you even start your business. But for your first question, which was, cybercrime and prevention strategies, the number one and easiest thing is, user information, user trainings. We advocate, because without the people who are working on the network every single day and understanding what their role is and what data that they come in contact with, what sensitive information they deal with every day, if they don't understand what they have in their hands and what they're using, nothing else matters. So we really highly recommend deploying a user security training to yourself if you're a solopreneur, and to your entire company if you're a bigger enterprise. Mm-hmm. These trainings should happen at the bare minimum every quarter. And it should include a quiz as well. So, and what it does, it's not a quiz so they can just forget it. It keeps that data in the front of their mind. So when they get an email, like you said, emails are the one thing that are getting compromised.
Yes.
When they get an email and they see that link, they know, oh, I remember in that training, it's best if I hover over the link, right? And if I don't recognize the link, maybe I shouldn't click there, or maybe I should forward it to my IT company or my IT support and see, if it's actually, something that I should click on. So again, prevention, the number one is user information. I would say the second would be having a robust advanced threat protection, a type of software, not just antivirus. Antivirus doesn't cut it anymore, because there's so many ways that these attackers can come get you. So you need something that's more robust, more of a threat protection, and then also a response and detection type of software that if it does detect any compromises to your machine, it knows how to quarantine it. It knows how to stop it, to protect your business from pretty much from being at a standstill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and go to your point about the emails. Part of that training is looking at the email, see where it's coming from, and if you click on it, where it's going to. Be definitely, because the Bank of America email scams and the UPSs, those seem to be one of the favorites out there, and they're sending and click on this link to get information, because that training is so important for the end user. But also, when you mentioned about access, would you suggest that you give access? Depends on what level and role of the individual in the organization. If you're IT has certain training. If you're in finance, the accounting, there's a certain other training, certain access to information versus somebody's on the front lines that may not need access to certain data. What's your thoughts about that?
Absolutely. It's funny. We had just did a WISP for a financial company, which the IRS is actually requiring for finance companies or people who are accountants to have a information technology plan. Mm-hmm. And that is one of the things is that, a criteria, all of you, and this is across the board, just not in the finance world, but right, you don't give admin rights to everyone. You give admin rights to who needs it. You give access to who needs it. If someone is a administrative assistant, you're not going to give them full access to your financial or the CFO files, right? Mm-hmm. So yes, it has to be segmented. It has to be organized. Your data has to be protected. And yes, you only give people rights to what they need. So if you're using multiple software, number one, with software, you need to have MFA, multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication. And for those who may not know what that is, that's just your password. Username and password is just one layer, but you need an additional layer. Back in the day, the cell phone text was good enough, but not anymore because people can now get access to your cell phone text messages. So we recommend that you use a third-party app, whether it's, any type of authentication app, and that is the two-factor authentication portion for every single account that you may have with any third-party application. Mm-hmm. We do suggest that as well. But yes, it does matter of your access. It matters how you access it, who has access to what. All of that takes, it's very important to keep you secure.
Yeah, because if for some reason something did get through, how long, how was the data backed up? Can you go from 2 days back, a 3-day backup? How quick it would get you back up and running to do business.
And that's why a lot of companies need a contingency plan. Okay. Like you need one. Mm-hmm. You have to look at, okay, what type of data do I have? Do I have to, am I in the medical field and do I have HIPAA information? Am I in the finance field? Do I need to contact, the IRS, if someone's Social Security got compromised? Mm-hmm. Do I need to call the police? Do I need to call my insurance? What about a contingency plan for all types of cyber attacks is a must. You have to know, what is my first step? And if you don't know your first step, then that's when you need to contact a professional to help you create one, and to look at your organization. Who within my organization do I call? When do I call my IT? Is all of our data backed up? So what vendors do I have? How many devices are out there? How many are affected? Those are the questions that you have to have the answer to ahead of time. So I suggest for every company to have a cyber security contingency plan on, if not when, if, but when a cyber attacks occur, what do I do?
Okay. Yeah, because that critical incident plan is so important. And as you had mentioned, knowing, okay, your hardware, software, all of those, having assessments of your network, hardware, devices is so crucial. Who has access to them, what, the types and the years and models, and to continue to lock down those various systems. And so in doing that, you mentioned something about quarterly doing the education training. Mm-hmm. So would there be certain trainings different for like the IT people versus the CEO, CFOs, because they have access to so much data and at their level versus the people as an administrative assistant? Would you specialize or, certain those trainings?
Absolutely. I mean, with technology now, you have so many different vendors you could even choose from where you can mix and match a training program for your user to do at their own discretion, at their own time, and you can choose what areas you want them to have the training in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessary all the time unless there is something that, the CEO wants to do, but there's so many options out here that you don't necessarily have to have like an in-person training where you can actually create tailored trainings online and have people go through and see what their scores are, see where they're lacking at. And you may want to say, okay, maybe you need a little bit more, education through this, or you need to get you training a little bit more frequently, right? But yes, so you can mix and match the different type of departments or roles that people have, and do a tailor-made user security training for them now.
Yeah, and when you mentioned that, if they need a little extra training, if they do not do the training, you have some kind of metrics that would show you, okay, this person didn't do the training, so do we give them access to the network, or do we just say, well, your access is denied until you complete the training? What's your thoughts around that?
And again, that would be right. That would be your your discretion per company, and depending on the role. If it's a general training and it's for the administrative assistant or a contractor who's only going to access your information, like, one time for a month, they're only there for a month, then that would be at your discretion. But yes, if it's someone who is dealing with a lot of data, sensitive data, you may want to put more emphasis on, depending on the person in the role, whether you want to just lock down the system to them. But that would be the discretion of, the owner of the company.
Okay. What other strategies would you suggest and to enforce that cybersecurity training for people to, make it a priority and kind of feel that they're part of the team, that it's not just the IT, but it's part of their responsibility as well?
Again, just if they do the user security trainings, those usually bring the insight, and that turns that light bulb on. Not only that, again, just having that plan, have a company-wide meeting or a department meeting with the department heads and say, hey, if this happens in your particular department, what would be affected? And you could bring a sense of community, bringing everyone together and say, hey, listen, it's just like anything else. You see something, you say something. You're not sure, you ask. And that's where it goes left, where a lot of companies are like, well, I don't have anyone to ask. I don't have an IT, department, or I don't have a IT company that I could refer these questions to. Well, if you are working majority online, then obviously that is important to have. You have to have someone that you can filter through. If you have a tax question, who you're going to call? You're going to call your accountant. You're going to call your tax preparer. If you have an IT question, if you have a safety question, the question for you within your business is, who do I call? And who has real world experience and reputable experience to be able to answer these questions intelligently?
Yeah, but you just hit on a key point, because now today in the world that we're in, with COVID-19 and the pandemic, now we have people working remotely from home. How would working? So how do you get data into the network? Do they use the VPNs? Could you speak a little bit to that in part of that cybersecurity practices?
Absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, especially, with dealing with a lot of my clients, the number one that they see is convenience, right? They understand the security, because especially for us, we're big on education on it. So they understand, but they also like convenience, right? They want their stuff working fast. They want it to be secure. They have all those criteria that they want. And so for us, what we find is that, the two best ways to ensure when you're working from home is, number one, use a VPN. with your machine, to access your work data. And then also give your company, this is more for the smaller businesses, you have to invest in giving your employees machines that you image, that you create and provide the software and lock down. If you let them use their own machines, then you're at their liberty to whatever occurs at home, right? Because you're not a police officer. You're not going to be there at all times. So I would say definitely have them connect to a VPN, which is a virtual private network. It allows them to connect strictly to your network, and then you can lock it down with different policies on what they can access. Another thing is you can use a virtual machine. Again, virtual machines are awesome. You can access it from any machine at all. And once you log in, and you're definitely in that business network, you're in that company network only. So, and again, if you have a good IT company, or if you have a good IT department, they've locked down where you only can access what you can access. So I would say virtual machines and VPNs are critical to ensure safety for people working from home.
Okay. Are there any last thoughts to encourage our listeners to inquire and review their critical incident plan and just look at their cybersecurity network and cybersecurity practices, and do they need user guides and for their employees to sign, and any other things you would add to the conversation on today?
Absolutely. They definitely need to have a contingency plan. They need to understand what PII is, private information, what sensitive information that they handle. They should have someone reviewing that information with each employee, and they sign off on it to understand that they understand what they are dealing with, what the actions are, of the critical incident plan and the contingency plan for a cyber attack, and understanding who to call, and having that data and having that information and having that conversation is very important. And again, for your company and for your employees, this again is something that should be definitely in the policy and procedures. Within your company. If you have policies and procedures, this has to be almost at the top. I would say the top 5 of the cyber for the incident plan, because it's ultimately, every business is in business to make money, right?
That's right.
So you need to safeguard that ability to make money, and our warfare has changed now, and it's more cyber more than ever. So why not secure yourself the best way you know how to, and actually have a plan?
Okay. Well, again, thank you so much, Halima, for being our guest today, and look forward to continuing this essential conversation. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I love recording it. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and share it with the wider community. Until the next time, check out a past episode. I'll see you at the next one. Peace. I am your host, Justice Riggins.